Dear viewers, every year lakhs and lakhs of people travel to US either for visit or for studies or for pursuing an employment or for other reasons. Likewise, every year a lot of people come back from the US. These people many a times are not quite well aware of the rules and regulations that they need to follow, the preparations that they have to make, the do's and don'ts of their journey towards US. So we have decided to do a series on this for people who want to go to US, what are the things that you must be doing, as well as for those people who to come back from US, what are the things that you have to keep in mind. The topic for today would be the 10 things that you must keep in mind if you were to visit US for whatever the reasons. We have brought today a very special guest, and let me introduce separately the guest. Please stay till the end of the video if you have an intention to visit USA any point of time. Adhering to these points will make your journey very silky, smooth, and pleasurable one. This is NR Money Clinic for you, and I am Dr. Chandrakant, but your financial guide for a happy living.
NRI Money Clinic. No hype, just the right advice.
Dear viewers, I'm extremely happy to have today a very eminent speaker, Dr. Rati Manish Tripathi from USA. She is a certified financial educator and a registered member of the Heartland Institute of Financial Education. She holds a doctorate degree from Birla Institute of Technology and Science. She has more than 12 years of experience. She wears multiple hats. She has experience in multiple fields. She is a certified educator. She conducts group classes and one-on-one sessions for individuals for their individual unique financial needs. In this episode today, she is going to talk about 10 things you must keep in mind if you have an intention to visit USA for whatever the reasons. Please listen to her. These are the points that you have to keep in mind. Before I hand over the session to Dr. Rati Tripathi, let me add a disclaimer here. Please note that whatever that we are going to discuss here is not an investment advice. This is for the purpose of education. You should need to do your due diligence independently. You should talk to the concerned professional, take guidance from them before you decide to do any kind of decisions pertaining to financial dealings or investment purpose. It's over to you, Dr. Rati Tripathi. It's great honor to carry you on my channel. It's over to
Thank you, Dr. Bhatt. Thank you so much. Hi, viewers. This is Rati Tripathi, and I'm very happy to connect with you all today. The first thing is disclaimer from my side too. Always consider your unique needs have unique attention required. So once we go over the content here, talk to your experts, talk to advisors, talk to people who you feel are valid in your opinion. And also, if needed, reach out to our office. We may be able to help you. But this is a generic information which will give you some ideas and understanding that how you should be smoothing out your journey to United States and do things correctly the very first time instead of regretting and thinking later on. So I'll be going over today, as Dr. Bhatt suggested, 10 things you should know and prepare for before coming to United States. So number one, I would say you need to know your own visa category. That is the first and most important thing. Maybe meet an immigration attorney or maybe talk to embassy in India and understand what the rules and obligations you have when you are coming to United States based on the visa you are coming into. So for example, the F1 student visa have a different set of rules. They may have different tax rules. They may have some more offers and financial assistance and other eligibilities. And J1 exchange visitor may have completely different thing. In some visa category, for example, J1, your spouse, your dependent may be eligible to apply for a work permit immediately if you are bringing a working spouse with you. And in other visa category like H1, where you are coming here, but your spouse may not have employment authorization right away once you move to here. Similarly, L1 and B1 visas and different category have different set of rules. So if you understand these rules based on your visa category with the help of your own experts in India already, you will definitely be better prepared. And then once you reach out and you are in the law of land of United States, definitely reach out to an expert here, confirm everything which you learn in India, and then you will have a smooth journey. You will be able to take advantage of all the rules of regulation. Every country, especially United States and India, have a treaty signed up. So most of the rules you will be applicable to you will be based on your treaty. Sometimes you do have a choice, meaning you may be getting some treaty benefit versus US laws, and you may have an option to pick and choose which one you want to use. You may opt for US law in one sense, or in other area, you may opt for your treaty benefit, and both are right and correct. But if you don't know, you don't know about it. So that is number one. Number two, on the same thing, is your after visa category, I will say focus and see if you are bringing your dependent to the United States. If you are single, life is easy and simple, nothing problematic. You can manage, even life is little hard on you, you will be okay because you are just a single soul here. But at the same time, if you're bringing your wife, kids, dependent parents, or any other family members with you, you have responsibility of those people as well. So you need to know that how the health insurance will work for these people, how the school system and which school system you would like to prefer. Again, if they can acquire any additional skills before coming to United States, so coming into the job market or building a career become easier for them. So all these things you have to consider. For example, if somebody wants to learn driving, it's the time to get it taken care of. Or if you want to learn a second language, maybe English, Spanish, French, that is a great time to do that. You have to see if your spouse and partner, including yourself, are you tech savvy or not? Is the time to learn the computer languages as well? So all these things you need to prepare not only for yourself, but also for the people who you are bringing to United States. Could be your wife, could be your adult kids, could be your minor kids, and could be a senior family member. Based on that, you have to see what their requirements are. Will they be eligible for a work authorizations immediately? Will they be able to apply based on your visa category? Or they have to go hunt themselves for themselves and find an employer or a sponsor to start working. If they are starting a college, look at your finance options. Who will finance them? Will you be able to finance them? Or they have some kind of other opportunity or financing from Indian Bank or United States or university, things like that. In order to understand these things better, I would suggest always reach out to your employer's human resource department, talk to them, set up several meetings with them. They may be able to connect you with the right people and share some guidance with you. Now, third category, I would say, what documents? Your documents. Oh my gosh. I was freaking out when first time I had to send all my original certificates to certificate evaluation company. It was crazy. I was like, what if they lost it? So things like that. So number one thing you do, I would do for myself, make a copy of all your documents. That is your travel documents, your passport, visa, your certificates, your own any other things like your bank CDs, whatnot, all your important document. You make a copy, get it notarized, and leave one copy maybe back home in some safe hands. If some people consider to keep it in a vault or a secure vault which you can access anywhere, you can log in and go to your vault, very common these days. So they can access these documents if they're traveling and for some reason their baggage is missing, they can still reach out, because some countries like maybe in your journey direct from Delhi to USA, or some Calcutta or India to USA direct flight, or you may be stopping in other country and they might be more challenging. There's some country where you may not be, the people may not be able to understand English. So having this kind of resources and losing your papers at that time can create a big facade. So you should be thinking about having some way where you can access at least a copy immediately. Some people also consider to emailing their own document to themselves, and that works totally fine. You figure out what the way it should be, but always the plan B, always something which you can count on later on. So that's my third one. Fourth one is connected to the third one, actually. So in your documents, all your certificates, some of your certificates, United States employers recognize right away, but most of them need to be evaluated for international standard. And for that, you have to hire an independent agency who will ask you to send you all. I had to really, I did intermediate company secretary, and they asked me to send all the syllabus to them so they can understand how to match it with United States education. Once reading all that, they gave me expert on Anglo-Indian law kind of certification, which I like. That's fine. But imagine if you have to do this exercise, it's a lot easier if you're doing it from India versus you are doing it when you come to United States. So all your certificate, talk to your human resource, your new employers, US employer human resource, and ask them, do they have any recommendation? Do they prefer any particular certificate evaluation company, one over the other? And get the recommendation. Otherwise, there are many good companies. Find a good authentic one. Ask your friends who are already in US. Everybody has to, most people have to evaluate their certification. Once you finalize the company, figure out what their fee is, send them all your certificate, and hope and pray they will FedEx with the right means and it will get back to you. Sometime this process takes 2 weeks, sometimes it may take couple of months. No matter what, you have to get it done sooner or later. I would suggest they send you a few copies in a sealed envelope. So pay for some additional copy, because if you are applying for new job here, they may require the same certificate evaluation. So at that time, you will not have to go through same process over and over again. Having some few extra copies will help you long way. Second thing is, do not open these sealed copy. They send you a copy which you cannot use with other people. It has like do not use kind of a seal in it, but you can read how they evaluated your certifications. If you have any question, you want any correction, you can reach out to them, get that taken care of. But if you open that sealed envelope, that will not be accepted when you are applying for a job or sending it to your employer, because that's corrupted at that time. So make sure you have additional copy and make sure you do not open these copies. After that, if you are a student, and this is very, very important to understand, many families, I have first-hand experience when families send their young kids to college in United States, thinking that they will support some and kid will figure out some. That's undue pressure on a very young person. And that creates chaos. That creates a big issue later on. And then those families start getting in more problem rather than a US degree. If you don't have proper mean to finance your kid, support your kid, or if you did not understood or figured out a way, then don't put your kids into a pressure like this, number one. But F1 visa student, you have a lot of funding options. So make sure if your family is not 100% fully financially supporting you, you're applying for a loan or a funding from Indian banks, etc. Do it for the first time. That's okay. But then there are multiple semester, and every semester you can apply for new loan. So once you are here in United States, immediately start talking to your student services. Ask them what kind of financing options you have in United States. Sometimes they are much cheaper and better than Indian options. Your interest rate might be lower, and sometimes they are forgiven program and things like that you may get advantage of. So definitely makes an effort to talk to people and find out what grant opportunities you can qualify, if you can qualify for any scholarships, or if you have any funding, or least worst case scenario, if your university can get you into some work study program. These program, most of it get paid by university and very little get paid by your supervisor or something, so they love to have someone like you. Find out. And also in your F1 visa, they find out there's certain number of hours you can work outside your university to make some earning to pay your bills. Again, when I'm sharing all that, remember, when you are here to complete a study, your degree should be your ultimate focus. Do not get distracted. Do not get overwhelmed with earning and making money part of the deal. Stay focused and complete your degree. So down the road, you will be making much more significant benefits rather than having a small part-time income here and there. So don't get caught up into it. But if you have to fund yourself, if you have to support yourself financially, definitely explore all your options and talk to your student services and figure out what's the best combination for you to fund your education. And you have to do this exercise every single semester, because as many times you are here, more relation you build, more better options you may be having it. So don't just do one thing and then lie asleep on it for rest of 4 years. No, every semester, go and talk and figure out what next should be, how you can make your financial support better and better every single time. Hope that helps you. And again, parents, this is an advice. If you are thinking to financially fund your kid and you are not 100% sure that you can totally do it, do not throw your kids out here alone, not supported, and then later tell them, oh, I started you, but now we cannot do it. That brings a lot of confusions and tough time to these small kids. They are only 21 year old, and now they are begging other people for money. That does not look good. Their degrees, as I said, certificate evaluation, Indian degrees are also as credible, as good as United States degree. So do it if you want to and if you can afford to, but don't just, and if you can't afford it, plan for it, figure a way out, understand it, but just don't do it blindly. That's my advice one more time for the students. Now, sixth point is connections. Connections in my, I think that is the most important thing someone should have. So when you come to United States, immediately, and before coming to United States, you have to connect to certain bodies like your local embassy here in United States once you are landed, or in India also. Talk to them, find out who your connected person will be. What are the phone number you can dial in case you have any questions or any emergency, or you have want to explore any opportunity. Similarly, reach out to local Indian people. Yeah, every city have their own associations. They are like every state have their own association. So you will be surprised how Indian United States become. So like where I live here, it's like Madras Association, Bangalore Association, South India Association, Lucknow Association, Bihar Association, Delhi, Bombay, all those people like to stay connected. Find out, do a little bit search, you will find a group who is very connected with each other, and they may be from your hometown. Even if not, don't worry. As long the word is Indian, everybody will support you. Ask your question, reach out, make some phone call and say, I am coming to United States in your city. Who are the few people who can help me out? Finding maybe a place to stay or getting started with my bank account or first initial phone, etc. And the people are very, very helping here. You will be surprised. We take pride in helping people who come, who are new, especially broke student are our favorites. We help them a lot. So reach out, ask question. Similarly, there are again your human resource and embassies there, your local Indian families are there. There are bodies who help you even financially. So reach out, ask your options there too. Then libraries are huge here. Library system was my favorite when I entered United States. You can ask for any book in entire country and go to your local library and say, I want that book. They will bring that book from no matter where that book is and hand it over to you. Sometimes they will ship it to you, and it's all free. It's paid by our taxes. So take advantage of that. Computer, internet, books, movies, say music, and maybe sometime internet devices and all. Everything is at no cost to you. So that is the first place I will go. People who have family and they are not working or little kid, try to get your home at a walking distance within a library or a school, so your kid can just walk into there and read novels and books. And they're magicians, singer, people keep coming, and stay home wife run an entire enterprise there. They keep teaching kids away from a school, and sometimes their education is better than the schools. So take advantage of library, get your connections there, talk to them immediately, make your card, reach out. It's free for you. And they will be so happy. Staff is amazing. I was like, these people don't get paid and still they are so good. So you will be surprised. Definitely use that. And make some like-minded good friend. It's very good. If you are in a battle, having a buddy next to you gives you a lot of courage. So you are new, many people like you are new as well. Meet some common-minded friend, like-minded friend, and see what their struggle and your struggle together can give you more strength, and together you can conquer something better and bigger. Now, seventh topic I will share. If you have dependent, you are living in India, who are financially depending on you. Could be your parents, could be your spouse, kids, anywhere. They may be expecting you that you go to United States, make money in dollar. Even if you are getting paid like $2,000, they are thinking you are getting paid 200,000 rupees, and the conversion does not work the way it sounds. So make sure, if you are helping people who are financially depending on you, make them understand and create a systematic way to support them. But don't jump overboard, because in a new foreign country, your skill and your money are only two friends who will help you sustain if you get in trouble. While your family back home will have many other people, and they have whole fabric and environment surrounding them. So they will be okay for a few more extra months. Right away, immediately getting your first check, sending 80% of it to back home will not help you get established here. So make sure you set up a proper, systematic, balanced way where you support your family back home, help them understand what situation you are. You are maybe getting a scholarship or a salary in dollars, but you are spending in dollars also. So help them understand. First, set up your, just like in plane, they tell you to put your oxygen mask first, and then put the oxygen mask on your little baby. Same rule applies here. Set up your place to stay, as not super luxury one, but at least a comfortable one. Get your commute set in order, because transportation and communication are two biggest thing you would need to live your life here. Set up your proper bank account, build your emergency fund, and your first phone, obviously shop for that. Once all these things are said and done, then you are ready to put the oxygen mask on your loved one. And then make a systematic way, make a fixed dollar amount, which you can do and expect to send every month or every week or however way you want to, and stay on the balance course instead of getting Some people do it like they do everything in first few months and then they get exhausted and then they don't talk to their family for rest of their life. Don't do that. Whatever you take on, it's your responsibility. Do it in a way which help you build your relations versus make it tough on you. Nobody wants that. Not, believe me, not even your family member. They want your help and support, but not on your cost. Now, 8 pointer is you need to build a team in United States. So you came in United States, you're very new here. Now, first thing, and you start this process even while you are in India. As I said, reach out to communities, reach out to people. But here, you would need a team of a financial professional or educator or consultant or your guide or mentor, whatever you want to call it, a career coach. You may be in a very good dream job coming on your new H1 visa, but possibilities are sky is the limit. You may not know that you may be next Sundar Pichai. So having a proper career coach will really help you understand your potential, areas of your weakness, what kind of next training and next attempt you should be doing to keep making your personality better and bigger. Don't just work for money, work to also build your own personality better. Your whole sum, serve yourself before you serve others. So make sure you have a career coach. You have some fun friends because life is not very long. We don't know what's going to happen. Things are so uncertain. Some friends who can have a good, nice evening with you, some fun friends should be in your team. And most important, health and fitness coach and your spiritual support system. Temples in United States will again shock you once you are here. People here, we are claiming to be more religious than people back in India. So your mosque, your temple, your churches, they are very helpful, very sincere. They are people who made money all life long and donated every single penny to build a huge, nice temple for you. And once you reach here, food is free every Sunday, Saturday, most of the time. So great place to be for single people, students and all. And we feed 400-500 people every weekend. And no matter when you go, food is always there mostly, but we give a feast on weekends. Take advantage of these social events, meet and greet people, see who could be your next people who can help you out there in that city and area. And this is the story on most of the cities. So you will be surprised that you have a very good fabric here. People are helpful, supportive. We are waiting for you, and everybody is open minded. You just have to reach out, be nice and courteous, and ask for help. So, spiritual support system, you may not be a religious person, but just maybe for food and fun, reach out, and socialization, you should be connecting to some of these places too. Now, very important, your team back home. That's point number 9. Your team back home should be at least, you can make a huge team, but at least a good financial advisor or educator back in India, person who can guide you, because you will be facing many things which you don't understand, and handling them from United States in India may not be fun. You may do it incorrectly and pay it for it. It could be expensive for you, honestly. But having a financial advisor or educator back home will be like a person who is a text or phone call away. You have a small question, you can reach out to them, you can ask them, I'm in this situation X, I have this bank account, what should I do? How do I do this XYZ deal, or whatever the question is? Having someone to lean on who is an expert, who knows what they are doing, is always helpful. Then second thing you need, which is again in back home team, I'm keeping it short because you are not there. So you may not have a huge team back there, but a very strongly trusted family member or a friend, person where you call them and they may be able to handle some situations for you. It's very, very important. So these two people, and maybe several of them, my financial educator may be one, but trusted family member could be several. And you grow on this based on your need later on. Later on, once you are doing other things, you may need some other experts, you may need your real estate invest people and other, you may can expand your team enormously as needed. But to begin with, these two people, even before coming, just like you start a company and you first finalize, this will be my CEO and this will be my manager or president, couple of key position you decide first before even you name your company. Similar to that, these are the key position who will be my trusted partner when I'm away from my home, and who will be my financial educator and mentor when I am outside United States. So this team I will make back home absolutely. And if you can manage to link these people together, that will be a very big plus on your side, that your United States team knows your Indian team also. Trusted contact, trusted partners are required these days in our industry. People are required to put a name of a trusted contact in most of the important piece of paper, because COVID taught us a lot of things, who to talk to if we can talk to you. That is a very important question. So have these names in first, vet and understand who could be that person who can go up to that role, and then have those names in your pocket to use it when and where it's required. Last 10 pointer is your immediate steps when you start your life. Number one, before coming to here, let your bank notify that you are going to United States. Talk to them what kind of accounts you will be needing. Your financial educator will be able to help you for sure, but you are not in, and many people think that just because they are in United States, they are an NRI. NRI designation has nothing to do with where you are traveling. Any country you spend more than 180 days in a year make you resident for tax purposes in that country. And if you are spending more than 180 days in United States, then only you will be called a non-residential Indian for that particular tax year. So make sure you know these rules and you talk to your bank that when they want you to close your Indian bank account and open an NRI, NRO, NRE accounts, things like that, discuss this, have a checklist ready, and as time demands, take care of these things with the help of your financial educator. Also, first, after meeting bank, notify them once you really reach to your NRI status. You come here, started the job, and it's working well. Let them know that, hey, this is my situation now. I started, everything good, green signal, thumbs up. Let me know what account should I be opening, how I will be filing my taxes, both countries, etc. Talk to them. Your visa category again has a lot to do with your taxes, so be mindful. You may, if your job, for example, some visa, if you are going back to India after 1 or 2 years and not living more than 2 years, you may not have to pay taxes at all. In there are several taxes in United States. Some of them you are not obligated to pay. If you are living more than 2, and this is not that you are not obligated to pay, that means you should not be paying. That's the funny thing. You may choose to pay because it may benefit you. So always do your calculation every single year. You may be surprised that some people I've worked with, when they filed their return, they did not owe anything to IRS. But still, they file taxes and they are in compliance. It helped when they filed their green card, big time, but they did not have to pay taxes. Both cases, they file the return or they don't file the return, still it's tax free. So they just went ahead and filed the return. So things like that can happen. Make sure you talk to your tax consultant and understand your situation based on both your visa category and United States tax law. Pick and choose what route you would like to go. You have options and use your options. And finalize, again, next few things which are left. Go to US bank now. Once you are done with Indian bank, open your bank account. Obviously, they will ask you your credentials and your job and your visa, etc., that you are legally in United States. Get a debit or credit card based on your eligibility. Start your life. Shop for a good phone first. Then figure out how you will commute to your work. Will it be a Uber or gonna go for driver license? Go to State Department immediately as soon as you possibly can. Get a state ID or driver license, whichever the case may be. Finalize a good, comfortable place to stay. You may be sharing with other people or living on your own. You are maybe making good money, or you may be a student. Based on that, figure it out and then start your building your team of educators. Start building your team. Again, cannot emphasize it more that having a solid team is going out of box. Nobody ever generally would have thought about it. They think about how I will feed myself, how I'll spend my money. But if you build your team early on, you are ahead in the game. By that saying that, any question, feel free to reach out to my office. We will try our best and do our best to help you in any which way we can. And by saying that, I'll end my talk here and see how you feel. And please reach out with comments and questions.
Dr. Tripathi, it is amazing. We should have done this session long back. The people were asking us for all this, and it took us telescope to identify where you are and kind of thing. I'm very sure my audience will love this session, and probably we have to call you again and again every quarter probably. And as you speak, I'm getting more ideas here. The problem areas, people always keep coming to us. Nevertheless, thank you very much for your kindness to spare your time. I know how busy you are, but you're such a nice human being, and you have been very kind to spare your time for educating the masses. We remain in gratitude to you for your kindness, madam.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bhatt. It's very close to my heart topic. We'll do anything to help our brothers and sisters in India, whatever it's needed. So I'm always okay. I always love to do it.
Dear viewers, hope this video probably helped you to understand a process-driven method to enter US in a legally correct way, with well prepared, and to make your life very pleasant in United States. The land of plenty should become a land of pleasure for you. It should not become a place of burden for you. Hope this video helped you understand all this process in detail. Do give me a thumbs up if you like the video. And by the way, if you are yet to subscribe for the channel, please do hit that subscribe button right now and press the bell icon. Do not forget to share these videos. It's a difficult video. It's not something you come across people like Rati Tripathi day in and day out. And please do share these videos with your friends and relatives, near and dear ones, in the various communities on which you are connected with, and on the social media handles on which you are connected with. Thank you very much for watching this episode on NRI Money Clinic. I shall be back with you next Tuesday with yet another expert, with yet another topic which is very relevant to NRIs. Till then, stay safe. Jai Hind.
Press the bell icon for more details and subscribe our channel.